All right, guys, so we're back. Today we're going to show you what all is wrong with the cheapest 911 in the United States. This is our pastel yellow 1999 996. First things first, as you noticed, there's some very ugly stick-on eBay headlight bezels, and the headlights are all hazy. It's all fixable, right? Got a little bit of clear coat coming off there. The whole thing is not really faded, actually. It's just that it's supposed to be that way, right? And you look in the door jambs, it all looks the same. The nice part about this car, there is no accidents. There's no major issues as far as the chassis goes. So we have the stock bumper on it. Nothing fancy there. Somebody's done the windshield rubber moldings already. They are far too nice and far too soft for any of that. One thing we did notice, we'll let Philip work his way around here, is something's going on with the sunroof. It is not open correctly. It starts to move and then it stops. It's not really that big of a deal. And then as far as the back goes, somebody's repainted the back bumper, and this deck lid, you can see it's actually a shade off. So there is that. You've got the ugly amber pre-LCI taillights in it. Our wing did not come up at first. We had to give her a little assistance. And once it moved, then it raised itself up. It was no problem at all. The nice thing about this car is not a lot of body issues. And for what we're more likely going to do with it, a lot of the stuff is not going to matter anyway. Somebody's replaced the back window trim, is like brand new, but it's also not stuck all the way down all around. The carpet on the passenger front floor is slightly damp. So we need to look at the sunroof drains. We need to look at the door cards, all the usual suspects, and make sure nothing's getting in. We don't know if somebody could let the window cracked. We don't know, right? It's a car we don't know anything about. So let's look under the hood next. We're going to put up on the lift and show you everything else. So as you can see here, everything under the hood is actually really decent. Everything is factory. Everything is untouched. And everything is very stock. That's what we want to see. Unfortunately, all the hoses look to be original. The belt looks to be very old. So we're going to have to tend to all that stuff. Overall, not bad shape though. Okay, the inside is overall really good shape. Seats are slightly dry. The console is good shape. There's a little bit of wear on parts like this that are silver on the hood latch, but that's easy enough to fix or replace. Has the factory Porsche floor mats. The headliner seems to be all good, which we're going to change all that to Alcantara anyway. Probably that, all the pillars, and maybe the console. We'll do an Alcantara, so we could do it here. I mean, like, why not, right? Why not spend another $50 and just do all that? I think other than that, the inside, all the glass is good. The window regulators are all good. I'm holding the light right next to my face. Probably doesn't help. It's got like a aftermarket Alpine stereo on it. We didn't try it. Everything seems to be functioning and working like it should. There's no airbag lights. There's nothing funky. We got check engine light that's flashing. And that's it. So overall pretty decent. Let's put it up on the lift and let's see what we got under the car. That's where all the goodies are. So as you can tell, everything is in need of repair. This thing actually has headers on it. Got a stainless steel exhaust system on it. Can we see a name brand? Can we see a name brand? No. We'll investigate it at a later date. But I think this is aftermarket because it's stainless. From what I've seen on everything else, the hood emergency latch, maybe? Who knows? So definitely got a little bit of aluminum corrosion on it. That's normal for these. You can see all these hoses in here all need to be redone. They're just old and tired. So essentially, this car has oil in the antifreeze. So probably it means a cracked head. Used cylinder heads, $300 to $400. They have a service to they send these off and re-weld them. It's like $400 or $500. So it's not very expensive to fix it. It's usually on one side, a number one cylinder that does it. So there is that. I mean, overall, we're not scared of that at all. The tires, these are Michelin Pilot Super Sports, Pilot something. This one's a BF Goodrich, good TA. The fronts are Michelin's. They're all junk. These aren't worn, but it's like very old and hard as freaking steel. You can't drive one of these cars like that. The front ones, we'll go up there here in a second. This has a 6-speed manual transmission. So I'm just trying to find, and if you guys know where to get this, send me a link. I'm trying to find like a whole hose kit for all the hoses on the car, the coolant hoses. And that way I could easily get it all in one swipe. The sway bars, we'll check the bushings a little bit. The sway bar links don't look too old. And then all the joints, all that stuff. Shock bushing looks good. TV axles look good. The brakes look good. The bushings, the lower bushings, actually look really good. Everything back here looks fine. We're all good there. There's not an excessive amount of oil leaking or anything. Not that it really makes any difference, but so yeah, let's go up here to the front a little bit. Check out the front. The front tires, like I said, are totally toasted. Those front bushings, they're probably original. I can't get this pry bar in there. But they don't look bad whatsoever. Usually 911s and Caymans both have problems with the tie rods. That tie rod is totally good. That one's totally fine, no problems at all. This has the little radiators are up here. On this side, you can see it's leaking something. Something's happened up here. So we'll have to investigate that, pull the bumper off, investigate both radiators, all that stuff. I think it's going to cost probably around $1,000 to mechanically fix this car, which isn't really that bad. Now, of course, when we have it all apart and do everything to it, we got to check many things. One is the Ims bearing. The engine runs silent. It's like so quiet and so nice, but we'll know a little more when we take the oil filter housing off, the cap off. We'll look in that, make sure nothing's gone awry in there, make sure there's no metal shavings, indicate IMS, and when we take the engine apart, if the IMS looks like it's not the latest update, we'll definitely have to replace that. Also things like the clutch, when you take a very close look at the shifter linkages and make sure that there's no issues there. I know Porsches on manual shifter linkages can be an issue, and catalytic converters don't sound rattly or doesn't sound like there's any problems at all. We did not scan codes in this thing, but we probably will do that before we pull it apart. Overall, you can't really expect anything less for a decent price on 11, even though it's not the best color in the world, but we're going to change that. That's not a problem. We also need to check for things like bore scoring, things like that. The bore scoring problem, that is fixed. I mean, we could fix that. That does raise the price a lot. That's about $5,000 to send those off and have new cylinders pressed in. So hopefully that's not the case, but there's no smoke indicating anything. There's nothing indicating anything at all. Philip's looking at me like I need to go over here because the light's all screwed up. Nothing indicating any of that at all. So how much, like I said, mechanically, I should be able to fix this for $1,000. If it needs a bore scoring, all that stuff has to be redone. It's going to be $6,000. Body-wise, for what we're going to do to it, which is repaint the whole thing and do a full GT2 kit on it, that's about $6,000 for that. So we're just going to get it running mechanically, get all that fixed first before we do anything to the body, and then do that. The inside, like you've seen, it needs a mild cleaning. And just at that point in time, it's whatever we want to add to it to make it look better. Overall, I'm very happy with this purchase. I have to commend the guy we bought the car from. He didn't have an abundant amount of funds laying around to start this project, and I really commend him for not going forward with it, because a car like this will empty your account out in a minute and you're going to be in trouble. So I think he did the right thing. We definitely have the funds to make this thing correct. And with our red Cayman, I think it's going to be a real nice addition to the channel. It's going to be it. Stay tuned. We'll be pulling the engine out on this channel and doing all that stuff on videos on this channel. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see y'all later.